Welcome to your new wrestling obsession. It is Off the Mat. Thank you so much for you beautiful people for being here, checking us out on the Rewind. However you're consuming this content, thank you so much for doing so. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Of course, we're going to talk about the breaking news to start the show about WrestleMania. We're going to talk about WrestleMania. We're going to talk about some gooner trying to kiss Paige or Saraya at a convention signing. And then, of course, we're going to do our match card predictions and rundowns for not only Saturday night's main event and also NXT, was it Battleground Tampa? Is that right?
Tampa, yes. Tampa, this Sunday.
I can't remember which NXT show it is. So we felt like neither show this week was really noteworthy enough to do the rundown for. So we're just going to skip our reviews of Raw and SmackDown this week, and we're just going to give you all that goodness that is Saturday Night Main Event and NXT. So what do you say we jump in right into the news and just get going, Sticks?
Let's do it.
Breaking news! We got a clash! Wrestling ring about to blast! In the arena, when legends rise! Feeling the heat, Nick's no surprise! Slam this story, go your way!
All right, kicking us off, it is that topic of WrestleMania. And within the last several hours, this is still, I got to preface this is a still developing story. But in the last several hours, we have learned that WrestleMania 42 will no longer be held in New Orleans. Earlier today, WrestleNomics reported that WWE has quietly abandoned their plans to host WrestleMania 42 in New Orleans, Louisiana. A surprising move considering the city has previously been announced as the event's official host. Again, Rock is 0 for 2 lately, coming out and giving us a big announcement here, falls through, starting this whole storyline with John Cena heel turn, falls through. But I don't think you can really blame the Dwayne for this one. WWE has since confirmed the changes to sources, stating that while New Orleans is no longer hosting WrestleMania 42, the city remains in line to host a future installment of the event as part of the broader undisclosed agreement. Internally, the response has been mixed of surprise and indifference. Fightful Select is reporting that several WWE staff and talent were caught off guard, particularly since last year's WrestleMania 41's location announcement came unusually late. With no official word yet on where WrestleMania 42 will take place, some insiders have noted that in the last, at least the company has gone without confirming a host city in recent memory. Despite the initial shock, others within the company are too concerned. Multiple performers stated that WWE typically handles all logistics for the WrestleMania week, and their attention hasn't yet shifted to next year's event. Some even admitted that they haven't given it much thought and remains unaware of where the show might now land. Behind the scenes, WWE's current leadership continues to show a willingness to delay announcements and pivot plans when there's potential for a greater financial upside. So essentially my understanding of all this, and they're saying that it could be going overseas or to Saudi, and I don't think it's going to go to Saudi. I wouldn't be surprised if it went to London. But when WrestleMania comes to the city gives them like a kickback. They get a kickback from the city of X amount for all the revenue WWE's big events are bringing to that town. And from my understanding from what's being reported is that New Orleans isn't really willing to give that kickback. And so WWE is looking elsewhere. Now, one source claimed that WrestleMania 42 is now expected to take place in an international location, possibly Saudi Arabia. I don't think it's going to do that because Saudi's getting the Royal Rumble. WWE, and then about an hour ago, it came out that reports emerged indicating that WrestleMania 42 will no longer take place in New Orleans as originally planned. According to a report from NOLA.com, which is a New Orleans-based website, the event is now expected to be held in Las Vegas, the same city that hosted WrestleMania 41. The report cites an industry source who stated, following the success of last year's event, WWE's new leadership has decided to bring WrestleMania back to Las Vegas to gauge fan response. The source
Gouge was right. Gouge
yeah.
was right.
The source requested anonymity due to not being authorized to speak publicly. What do you think about that? What do you think about WrestleMania potentially going back to Las Vegas, having it in the same host city 2 years in a row?
I don't think that's good. I think the way they've been doing it for quite some time now, going city to city, for sharing the wealth, has been good for them. And I don't think it really was a great show this year in Las Vegas. They may have made numbers, but the show didn't.
Well, of course they drew money.
Notch.
It's Vegas. They're gonna draw money.
That's what I mean. They're gonna draw money. And if that's all they're gonna be worried about is drawing the money, I mean, then you just might as well throw the show right out the window, because they don't make sure that they don't care about the show. They just care about the money.
Well, and WrestleMania Night 1 was not billed very well. So I don't know why they would want to go back to Vegas. But again, Vegas, there's talks of them wanting to build a performance center in Vegas. They want to build, they're trying to expand. And London would make a lot of sense, especially, that was my first thought. When I read the article, I was like, it's because the crowd was dead. And so why not take your Mecca of Meccas, your biggest show of the year, to a crowd that's going to be juiced and energized? And crowds are go from the minute the first bell rings till the end of the last bell rings.
Any of those European cities where they could go or fire this turnaround, from Germany to France, right back into the UK,
Brussels, their whole European tour.
Yeah,
the crowds were on fire.
Oh my God. You never see crowds like that here in the United States. Like that. Never.
And there's been all that talk, like John Cena was trying to get a WrestleMania brought to England at one point. Like, do it. Take WrestleMania to England. I mean, I won't complain, because Vegas is a 4-hour drive from me, so I could go to WrestleMania, depending, and if I want to spend that money, if the card's good. But again, when you come out, it's interesting how they came out, announced WrestleMania in New Orleans, and then we get through WrestleMania season, and here we are, a month removed from WrestleMania, and they're changing the host city.
Right.
Last second.
Would it even if the card is, let's say, it's top notch card next year, would the crowd being flat, like we had talked about during this WrestleMania, still be a factor in people going, or especially you going? I mean, you're 4 hours away. We talked about it. The crowd was just non-existent. In most cases.
Watched WrestleMania from home, and I was damn sure happy I didn't spend $1,000 to go sit in a nosebleed seat.
There you go.
I mean, I think this year's WrestleMania did well because it was John Cena's last WrestleMania. Everybody was hoping to see The Rock, and now that we know John Cena's not going to be around next year, we don't know about The Rock's status. Is WrestleMania really going to sell that well? And I guess that's just the big thing now with WWE and TKO, is that they get this kickback from host cities, and for all the revenue they're going to bring to that city, and maybe it's just their asking price. I think it was like, I read it was like $6 million or something like that they got from Vegas to bring WrestleMania 41 to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to mention like all the ticket sales, all the merch they sold, all that. It was just to bring the event to Vegas, because they're going to help the economy by bringing all of that, because of all the people that are going to come to Vegas.
Right.
So it's a developing story. We'll get more as we go, but what were you going to say, Steve?
I don't know. Like aside from the previous two where we were supposed to get The Rock this year, people went to see because they thought The Rock was going to be there. The year before we got The Rock, but in the previous few years we haven't had The Rock, and they seem to do all right in the cities that they were doing. They seem to sell out no matter what, and the ticket prices were even keel to where everyone could buy them. But so I don't know if just having The Rock and Cena are and yeah, they're a draw. They're a good draw, but I don't think it's the be all and end all for them. I still think the talent is there to draw people into wherever they are at.
We have breaking news. I feel like we need to get a breaking news thing, but breaking news. WWE is officially reporting that Money in the Bank 2026 is set to take place in New Orleans, Louisiana. According to the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation, the same company that I believe is the one that leaked WrestleMania leaving. This announcement is set to follow news that the city will no longer host WrestleMania 42, though it is expected to host a future edition of the event in an upcoming date. A 6-man tag match featuring John Cena, Travis Scott, and Logan Paul against the presumed team of Cody Rhodes, Jimmy Uso, and Jey Uso was originally pitched for Money in the Bank 2025. As previously reported, Travis Scott is expected to make his return to WWE at the June 7th pay-per-view event in Inglewood, California. So there we go. You lose WrestleMania, you get Money in the Bank. It's like
they still got something.
It's like expecting. It's like going to the bar and getting drunk and thinking you're going home with a 10, and then when the lights come on, you find she's a 2. That's pretty much what you got. Even though Money in the Bank is one of my favorite PLEs of the year.
Yeah.
It just that's not a good consolation. Like give them the Royal Rumble or something. Why Money in the Bank? I guess that's all their money's worth. You guys don't want to pay us a big enough kickback for Money in the Bank or for Royal Rumble or WrestleMania or even SummerSlam, so you're going to get a Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to go back to Vegas. I know that they have that, what was it, like 10-year deal with Indianapolis. So I wonder if they're going to announce WrestleMania in Indy this year instead of Vegas. I would love to see it overseas. I don't see Saudi right now. I think it'll be Saudi within the next 6 years, but I don't see Saudi right now. The travel restrictions alone and all that would be a logistical nightmare, I think, for people from around the world to get there.
The political landscape isn't that great either when it comes to, for that either. So that's kind of a drawback if you're looking to get your fans over there. And yeah, they sell out too, but
we don't have to worry about the regulations on women over there. Most of our fans are mouth breathing neck beards anyways. So
yeah, this is interesting. Let's see how it plays out in the next week. My initial thought was maybe that they couldn't get enough, like 3 venues for all of their like NXT show, Raw, SmackDown.
Maybe, but I think the reports of it all being a money thing are 100% where it's at.
Yeah, that sounds more plausible if they're saying, no, we're not going to give you any, or maybe it just wasn't what they thought it was. Maybe we're only going to give you half of what we thought or what we expect. So we'll see how it develops.
Yeah, there's a plethora of pro wrestling this weekend, man. You've got TNA Under Siege, Saturday Night Main Event, NXT Battleground, and AEW Double or Nothing, which I was going to go to Double or Nothing because it's right here in my backyard in Phoenix, Arizona, but the card for Double or Nothing is dog shit.
Dismal.
So I'm not going to go. I'm not going to spend the money to go. I'm just not going to do it.
I mean, Darby Allin will be standing outside giving away tickets. So
Darby Allin's still on Mount Everest.
Oh, that's right. He's climbing back down.
But so WrestleMania saying so long to New Orleans in 2026, and hello to Money in the Bank 2026. Moving on, we get former WWE star Saraya, formerly known as Paige, breaks her silence after a fan shockingly tries to kiss her at a major event. Former WWE and AEW star Saraya, known to fans as Paige, has publicly addressed an unsettling incident that occurred during a fan signing at a Comic-Con Revolution Saturday, May 17th, 2025, at the Ontario Convention Center in California. During a photo opportunity at the event, a fan attempted to kiss Saraya on the mouth without her consent. Saraya managed to avoid the contact by moving away in time. She later took to social media to express her dismay, stating, "Crazy I have to say this, but if you come to my signings, please don't try to kiss me anywhere, especially on my mouth. He wasn't able to because I moved, but Jesus fucking Christ."
Yeah.
Listen, if you're going to a fan signing event and you think these women want to kiss you, I bet you think strippers like you too.
I gave her $1.
I bet you think because you go to a strip club and they pretend to like you, that you automatically are in there. They want to sleep with you. It's like that poor soul who's, because the waitress is nice to him and does a good job and is very attentive and calls him hun,
She called me
you
sweetie.
automatically think that she wants you and that you're going to leave your phone number on the receipt and you're going to make a pass at her. Come on,
She gave
people.
me-
They are in the service industry.
Mhm.
She's an entertainer. She's there to entertain you. Because you're paying your $150 for your photo does not give you the right to assault somebody.
Nope.
That could be considered sexual assault. Like, what are we doing? It's insane that a wrestling fan, would come out and have to be reminded of this. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, this is kind of unreal. I never,
Listen,
never in my wildest.
I have a level 17 dwarf and dragon and Under the Dragons. I was there when you wrestled for the WWE Women's title, the Divas Championship, the first night. I have longed to be in your presence. May I please proceed to lay my lips on thou? Now, get the fuck out of here, dude. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Get out of here. I'd be like, thanks for your money, nerd. You get no photo. Get out of here.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
cops.
No returns on that exchange. Yeah. That's crazy.
I feel bad for her. I don't feel bad for the dude. Like, come on, man. Like I said, it's like going to the strip club, handing a stripper a $5. She gives you a little lap dance, and then you're like, oh, here's my phone number. Let's get it on.
I got this crisp $1 Canadian and it says I can give you a kiss.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. Sticks it on it. Is it bad that first thing I thought of was, Dom, what are you doing? Why are you in California? But then I was like, nah, even Dom, even someone as wild as Dom understands.
Yeah.
that you don't go.
Dom knows where the line is.
You don't go putting the smooches on superstars.
Yeah.
Poor guy. I mean, just imagine the rejection he felt. It would have only been better if she would have like face palmed in a way, but just like to imagine the rejection that poor guy felt. Like he probably worked up the courage to be like, I'm gonna give her a kiss on the lips. Watch me do it. And was probably like telling his mom from her basement that this girl, he's going to see his girlfriend and that he got a picture with his girlfriend. He's going to go show all of his family members. Look, this is my girlfriend. She lives in England, but this is us together. I went in for, I even got to kiss her and he just gets like Heisman, dude, just, not today.
Yeah. I would hope he had wiped his mouth from that con buffalo chicken wrap that he ate beforehand.
Oh, you know he probably didn't.
Hold on.
His hands were probably sticky
Yeah.
because he spent all of his time gooning in line right before he went to go meet her,
Crazy stuff.
trying to just ascend. Soraya, my dear, I absolutely love you. Please give me a kiss. I don't know. Come on, people. That's all I gotta say is you should know better not to try to kiss people. And if it comes out that the person was like special needs or something, then I'm gonna feel like shit. But even then, like you gotta kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw that happen at Denny's at one night of all places. Me and my wife and kids were at Denny's and eating, and special needs dude tipped the waitress and then tried to kiss her on the lips, and she was like mortified. So I get it. It's a scary situation, but again, just because someone's in the service industry or entertainment industry and they're nice to you does not mean they want you in any way, shape, or form. They get paid to be nice to you.
Just because you got an extra slice of bacon with your moons over in my hammy.
And you all of a sudden worked up an extra little sausage link that you dropped in your drawers does not mean that Soraya wants you to kiss her on her lips. Like, she's a hugger. She's been known to hug people. Cool. Go with that. But now because this one guy got too overzealous, you can't even get a hug. Now it's a handshake or a fist bump and move on your way.
An elbow tap.
You bastard. You bastard. You can't just go up there and, take a picture for the old highlight reel like the rest of us. Store it away in the spank bank for a later day. No, you had to try to make your move.
Oh, yeah. Ruined it for the rest of us.
Ruined it for all of us. But all right. And then we got to give a big heartbreaking our condolences to Zoe Stark, who suffered a brutal knee injury on Raw. I'm not a doctor. Don't want to medically speculate, but it looked like it was probably ACL, MCL. Like, she probably tore every goddamn ligament in her knee. She has come out and said that she's officially going to be out for at least a year. She took to social media saying, "Wow, the love and support means more to me than you'll ever know. What hurts more than my knee is knowing I wouldn't be able to perform for all of you for a while. I love what I do, and I'm blessed to do this. As the saying goes, the comeback is greater than the setback. I love you guys." But WWE is being very hush-hush on it. Like, they're not coming out and being like, this is what's going on. This happened on Monday. This is Thursday. There's a few days in there where she should have had tests, and they should know, okay, yeah, her ACL or MCL, all of her knee ligaments are compromised. This is what's going on. But it was just brutal. Like, it just looked like it folded up underneath her. Like, I was like, oh, when I saw it and got kind of squeamish and like looked away from the screen real quick. And I was like, that can't be good. And she went down immediately. Then the shots coming out of the trainers being right there right away. Good on them. But then the shot of her trying to walk and she couldn't, and the trainer had to like pick her up and walk her out of the arena. Just
crazy.
Terrible.
And and she just, I would say, probably barely didn't make the cut for the.
I was gonna say she probably just got through not getting future endeavored by the skin of her teeth. I mean, her teammate did. Both of her teammates did. Shayna Baszler got cut loose, and then what's the other one? Sonya Deville got cut loose.
Yeah.
So somehow she's still there. So they still see something in Zoe Stark, but that's just terrible that her knee buckled like that, and we wish her a speedy recovery.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In that standpoint.
No one wants to see anyone get injured.
No, definitely not. All right. With that being said, we move on into our predictions, and we're going to go through the match card for both Saturday night main event and NXT Battleground Tampa Bay. And
Yep.
Sticks, why don't you go ahead and run us through the rules just for the new people here of how the points game works?
So for both of these programs, the point system runs at 10 points each for match winner call, either by pinfall or other means, and 10 points per extra call, i.e., if you call it interference or something that happens extra in the match that's not a pinfall or a count out.
All right. Bet you didn't think you're going to have to defend your title so soon, huh?
No, I barely got the shine on it yet. But I wear it proudly right now. I wear it proudly until
he
someone
just got
comes
his
in
side
and
plates
takes
put
it
on,
down.
and now he has to defend it again.
Yep.
All right. We're going to kick off with Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a steel cage. Do you think this is the end of Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre? This is what? 3, 2, 3?
Plus the fatal 4-way they were in.
Yeah, you had the street fight at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, okay, so this is their second face-to-face, or maybe I can't remember. I've lost count.
Yeah,
I've lost count.
It's not a whole lot, but it's spread out more over time.
It's definitely no Jey Uso Gunther.
No,
That's
it's not. No, it's not. We're later on. We're facing a possible 5. So.
Oh no, I don't think it's a possible. I think it is. 100% 5.
Shit.
100% getting Jey Uso Gunther 5.
Yeah.
But
in this one, I'm gonna call on Drew McIntyre to take this match in the cage. I think he's got more experience being in the cage. Not that really makes a difference, I guess here, but
yeah, it's not like it's Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, it's I don't want to say I don't care about this match, but it'll be a good match. But I think Drew McIntyre will take it.
Yeah, I agree. Drew McIntyre is going to go over. Do you think he escapes from the top of the cage, or do you think he gets out the door? Or do you think he pins him?
I think he'll pin him. Think he's going
to pick up a pin?
Yeah.
Do you see where do we go from here with Drew McIntyre? Where do we go from here with Damian Priest?
If Priest loses, like we think he shall, I'm not sure. McIntyre, I think that catapults him more into a championship scenario. One of them, any of them for him.
You see McIntyre. I mean, you see McIntyre Cena at Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank, nah, not Money in the Bank. Maybe a little later than that, but not much. Maybe like the next PLE after that one. And I think, well, I don't want to get ahead on that, but that we don't know who's going to be in that Money in the Bank yet because he's still got to. If they have him qualify, I guess he could win Money in the Bank. Why not? I mean.
Well, Drew and Damian are both previous Money in the Bank winners, so I don't know if I necessarily want to see them win Money in the Bank again.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna say no, not in Money in the Bank. I'll say one of the later PLEs. I think him Cena would be a good combo for a match. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I was going to say Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu for the U.S. title, but it kind of looks like they're leaning towards the startings of the Solo Sikoa Jacob Fatu match at SummerSlam.
Well, him going over to battle up Fatu would make sense. I mean, yes, it was Solo who cost him the match with Roman Reigns, but it it's still kind of a bloodline scenario where he's in the bloodline. You know, maybe take on him to take down that portion of the faction, because Solo's not getting a championship anytime soon.
You don't think so?
No. Not unless they put him down to NXT, maybe take the North American Championship like they did with Dominic, but
I don't really know where Drew, unless they do the draft after this and Drew somehow ends up on Raw and he ends up in the world title picture. It feels like maybe he goes up against Jey Uso on Raw after Uso beats Gunther, because I think we'll get into it, but I think it's going to definitely be Uso facing Gunther. I just don't see where Damian Priest goes from here after this. Like, I think this all but removes him. If he loses, it's going to all but remove him from the title picture. And he's going to, is he going to get involved in the US title? Like, what, tag team? I don't see where this goes. He's just going to be a mid-carder. I don't see where this goes for Damian Priest.
I know you didn't have this in your news, and I'll kind of speculate here. There's rumors. I feel like Dom with the talking about the dirt sheets here, the Dom's dirt sheets here. There's rumors that WWE are trying to match up with WWC again out of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
Yeah, but I don't know.
They're talking about Carlito, because Carlito's former champion, going back down into there.
Yeah.
Build that up. I don't know if you would do that with Damian Priest.
No, because Damian Priest he does good work. He's a good worker, so I wouldn't see them pushing him.
No, I'm not saying permanently. But
I don't know. I think WWE's kind of got their plate full right now with Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank and their acquisition of AAA. I don't see them building another promotion or buying another promotion in Puerto Rico.
Well, I'm not talking about buying. I'm just talking about like what they're doing with TNA right
TNA?
Now. Yeah.
But TNA is a more mainstay, stable brand.
It is.
That they're getting essentially the genius behind the TNA thing is that they can bring back old guys that used to sell for them and stars like the Hardy Boys, Nick Namath. They can also get WWE audiences familiar with the likes of Joe Hendry, Jordan Grace, some of these other potentially Tessa Blanchard, some of these other TNA superstars, and it gets that working relationship. And WWE gets to take a first look at all these people, with what, and not have to sign them to find out whether they can do this or not, and then release them. Like, they're gonna, who knows how much money they're gonna save potentially with this TNA deal of talent. It goes both ways, but WWE is definitely the one that's gonna benefit the most from this deal, because TNA ratings might go up when you see a WWE superstar on that show, but how do you feel being TNA when a TNA superstar shows up on NXT, gets a massive pop, then you automatically go, oh man, they're leaving. Like, their TNA world champion, Joe Hendry, his contract is up in a couple months and he's all but already in WWE.
Right.
Yeah.
And to that matter, he had Hendry show up at freaking WrestleMania. First time I can think ever that another promotion has had their champion on WrestleMania.
And then now and not only that, they're defending the TNA World Championship on NXT.
Yep.
On NXT PLE, they're defending the TNA World Championship.
Yep. Interesting.
But again, I don't know where Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre go from this. We'll see, but I agree. I think Drew McIntyre is picking up the win here.
Do you think he get pins or anything separate like that?
Yeah, I think he's gonna pin him. It's Drew McIntyre. He's gonna go for the most brutal that he can. I think it's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a massive fight. But in the end, I think Drew's going to take him out with a Claymore, 1, 2, 3, center of the ring.
Yeah.
Or
might take two,
maybe we get our swerve here, and this is where we find out that Drew McIntyre is part of the new faction that Paul Heyman's putting together. And Paul Heyman shows up and opens the cage for Drew McIntyre for McIntyre to escape. Who knows?
Maybe.
I just don't see either one of these dudes like trying to escape through the cage or over the cage. Like they might make attempts, but I think this one's going to end.
Yeah, you'll have that spot where they're both up top and they,
yeah,
and then they'll come back down. Yeah, you would get that spot. Absolutely.
But all right, next up we have the CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker.
All right.
How do you see this match playing out?
Well, this is interesting. I know you brought up Drew McIntyre for that, but man, if anyone's ripe for a turn, it's Sami Zayn right here. I know he's already gone. I know he's already gone in that not going to do it, not going to be your puppet or whatever was he said a couple weeks ago there. But man, CM Punk has had everybody turn on him at one point or another, and I just have a feeling Sammy's going to turn on CM Punk in this match.
You think it makes sense for Sami to turn on Punk?
I don't think it makes sense at all, but I just have a feeling. I just have this feeling that he's going to.
I think right now Sammy's like the biggest baby face, maybe other than Jey Uso on Raw.
I was gonna say Jey Uso probably is the biggest.
I don't know. I'm excited about it. I think Sami and Punk lose this match. I'm gonna be 100% with you, and I think it's gonna be Sami that eats the pin from Bron Breakker's spear, and I think Breakker is gonna pick up the pin for Team Seth in this. But I do think the third man is going to reveal himself because look, on Raw, we had the three baby faces standing tall. You had Jey Uso, CM Punk, Sami Zayn standing tall. And right now, Seth's group is very much without another man. So I think somebody interferes in this when we get the revolution or I don't know what word I'm looking for. The reveal, Jesus Christ, of the third man for this faction. Be it, I'm gonna go with Dom here. Maybe this is when all ego Ethan Page shows up for his call up, and Ethan Page gets involved.
I'm not at all against that. I like Ethan Page, so.
But I definitely think we're gonna see Breakker pin Sami to pick up the win.
Yeah. Just
my thought. And I think there will be interference. I just don't know by who. It's going to definitely be the reveal of the third man for this faction, or maybe a woman, maybe Becky Lynch. I don't know, but maybe Drew McIntyre.
As far as the pinfall goes for this one, I'll say that it's going to be. I'm going to say the Rollins covers Punk after a Breakker spear and a stomp from Rollins.
You see, full transparency, I'd rather see Sami lose this match, not face Jey Uso for the title. I'd rather see Sami win the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia and go into WrestleMania and win his first championship on the main roster. Well, first WWE World Heavyweight Championship or Heavyweight Championship at Mania next year.
What, 7 months away?
Hey, man, I mean, you got to find somewhere for Sami to fit in. They can't go to the old well of let's throw Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at him again because Kevin Owens is out for who knows how long.
Yeah.
the way Kevin Owens is talking on social media, it sounds like it might be a career ender because he still hasn't had neck surgery. He said, contrary to what people are saying, I have still not had neck surgery. And they're consulting a bunch of specialists about it. So we don't know if we'll ever see Kevin Owens in a wrestling ring again.
Right. Yeah.
But that's just right now, Thursday, May 22nd. That's where I'm leaning, is that Punk and Sami are going to lose. Breaker's going to spear Sami to pick up the win. I think the way I see it coming out, Punk and Sami are going to be down, or going to be winning. Seth's going to be down. Then Bron's going to spear Sami, and Punk's going to try to break up the pin, and out of nowhere, Seth's going to stomp Punk, and Bron's going
to keep him from
breaking up the pin.
Okay.
And Bron's going to pick up the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, he'd have to be coming in from the outside of the ring, and then Seth stops him. Yeah.
So you think how do you see? How did you say you saw this match going? You think? What do you think?
Rollins and Breaker are going to win. Breaker spears Punk. Rollins comes in, gives him the stomp, and covers him.
You see Sami, and you said you think you see Sami turning right here, or no?
I think this is going to be a spot where Sami turns.
I don't know. I think you'll have it.
Or at least turn. Like I said, he'll turn on Punk.
I think you'll have as many. Well, if he's going to turn on Punk, he might as well just join this faction.
Right.
But I think you'll have many fans equally upset and excited if that's the outcome of this match.
Yeah.
Then we move into our World Heavyweight Championship match: Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. Winner faces Gunther at the Raw after Money in the Bank. How do you see this one playing out?
I think we've already kind of. Jey Uso's going to take the win, and we're going to get Gunther 5. So.
Do you think he pins him clean, or do you think there's some shenanigans? I miss Dom with all of his shenanigans every match.
I know all this shenanigans. There's probably going to have to be some kind of a shenanigan. It's freaking Logan Paul. No, you know what? I'll say that he makes Paul tap out like he did Gunther.
You think so? You think he's going to start buying? They're going to change his name to J Body Collector, huh?
Hey.
He's going to start tapping everybody out.
Yeah, I think he'll feel like he has to go to that well like he did with Gunther.
It feels so telegraphed here that Jey Uso is going to win this. Go face Gunther at Raw. That way, it's taking Jey Uso and Gunther both off the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And then it's just, that match is setting up for something more where, Goldberg's going to get involved. And we're going to move on to Goldberg versus Gunther, either at SummerSlam or Night of Champions.
I'm going to sidebar this. I'm going to sidebar real quick. I'm going to channel my inner Dom. That's scary as that sounds. I'm going to channel my inner Dom, and I'm going to say, I'll say, as something he would say, maybe we'll get a double disqualification, and we'll get another one I hate to say, a triple threat match with Gunther, Jey, and Logan Paul.
I hope not.
I hope not either. I'll be honest, I hope not either. I'm tired of the triple threats, fatal four ways.
Listen, I don't have anything against Logan Paul. I think he does fantastic work in the ring. He came in, he's picked it up. He seems to be dedicated. He seems to be serious. He was a great United States champion.
Yeah, he was go from the start.
I will not be surprised if Logan Paul is a world heavyweight champion or a world champion in WWE in the near future. But I just don't see, you don't go through all those months of buildup from the Royal Rumble to Mania for Jey Uso to have him lose the title to Logan Paul on a Saturday night main event.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
I mean, he's gonna probably lose the title to like you said, either a Sami Zayn or a Seth Rollins at some point. Probably Night of Champions is when it'll happen.
Yeah,
in Saudi Arabia. But I just don't think right now is going to be Logan Paul's time. Especially the way they just keep having Logan Paul show up, punch him in the face, and then leave. You know, I don't.
Yeah,
I
it's
just,
like a bad high school fight.
Yeah, I don't see Logan Paul winning this match. I think Jay pins him clean.
Okay. All right.
I'm trying to think of how I could see it playing out. I could see him going. I could see Logan Paul kind of showboating it and going for that buckshot lariat that he does, and Jey Uso ducking it and super kicking him, and then hitting the Uso splash on him. I could see that being the finish, but I could also see him tapping out too. You know, build that body collector Jey Uso up and just have him tap people out.
Yeah,
but so yeah, I don't see Jey Uso winning this. I mean, I don't see Logan Paul winning this.
yeah, no, neither do I.
No. All right, up next we have undisputed WWE Championship match: John Cena versus R-Truth. R-Truth versus his childhood hero.
Man, I don't see R-Truth winning. I don't even know if we're going to get a good match out of this, quite frankly.
I want a good match. I want a show, and I
want a great match out of this, but
I think we will, because with the way that Truth has been such a company man and willing to do whatever he needs to do.
Yes. Yeah.
I think they'll let him have a great showing versus John Cena. I think John Cena is going to go into this match completely underestimating Truth. I think Truth is going to take him to the limit, and we're going to start seeing more of that conflicted John Cena come through. And I wouldn't be surprised if Travis Scott makes his return here to help Cena win, or Cody even, to set up the match at, Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Yeah.
But part of me doesn't think Cody's going to come back till Money in the Bank. Like
I don't either, actually. I don't either.
But I would completely expect there's going to be some shenanigans and fuckery in this. And if it's a bunch of referees getting knocked down again like it was at Backlash, I'm going to pull my hair out. But
yeah.
I would love, if I was booking this match, I'm booking it where R-Truth is going to come in strong. He's going to hang with John Cena. He's going to shock John Cena throughout the match, and then he's ultimately going to lose. But I think he's going to shock Cena.
Yeah. See, I kind of see it where he comes in, doesn't want to fight Cena because he's his childhood hero. Cena knocks him around a little bit, and towards the middle, he wakes up and starts to put on the gas and go on Cena, but Cena does end up pulling out the win.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like right now, it feels like we're back where WWE is so predictable because we know John Cena is not losing this title till the end of the summer, until he's getting ready to leave the business.
Right.
They're going to give him a good, solid 17 run, even though I know you're a fan of the drop the belt, regain the belt, drop the belt.
I am. I still like that. I still like that idea. Idea. Oh, did you see the where was it? Was it at was that one of the shows? Someone had a sign that said respect Flair, he's 21 sign.
Yeah. It was at AEW Dynamite.
Oh, Dynamite, yeah.
People had Flair came out on Dynamite, and people had Flair 21 signs. Which he is. He is a 21-time champion. WWE just doesn't acknowledge them.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? You know,
Right.
WWE doesn't acknowledge,
A lot of things.
you know, oh yeah.
They don't acknowledge a lot of things.
But the problem is, in the mecca of pro wrestling, WWE is the mountaintop. So if it doesn't happen in WWE and WWE doesn't recognize it, it didn't happen. It doesn't matter, you know. And if it catches, I mean, it came out that Cena's added even more dates now to his schedule. So if it comes out and catches fire that Cena's not 17, you know, the record's 21, and I think if the fans really start pushing it, then we might see the Cena lose, Cena win, Cena lose, Cena win, Cena to quickly get him to get him to 21.
Yeah. Yep. Small card. I mean, four matches. I mean, it is televised, so you're going to get a lot of commercials in between there. So.
Yes, it is. All right. But all right, that's it for our Saturday night main event Saturday night main event predictions. So we'll see how we do. We'll have to get Dom's predictions, and we'll get you updated next week on how that goes. And from Saturday night main event, we're moving on into WWE NXT Battleground Tampa on Sunday night, May 25th. And same point system here. Sticks 10 points per match. Winner called, pinfall or other. 10 points for every extra call, interferences, etc. And our first match tonight, we have Tony D'Angelo versus Channing Stacks Lorenzo.
I've got the Don. I got the Don winning this, coming back and taking him to town for turning his back on the family. You don't go against the family.
You think he's got him? Do you have him winning it handedly? Do you think the rest of the family turns on the Don?
I got him winning handily. I don't know if they'll have interference from the family. I don't see that, but I have him winning.
Yeah, I have the Don.
I think the rest of the family's still behind him. As far as I can tell.
I have Tony D'Angelo picking up the win on this match too. Pretty handedly.
Yeah.
Up next, we have Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs versus the Culling in a 6-man tag match. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with Hank and Tank with Briggs over the Culling. I think the Culling, due to break up at some point. So them losing might skewer their lines a little bit and move them singly so that Spears can pick up a couple other guys to pal around with and build them up like they've been doing with these two.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hank and Tank are going to pick it up. They just won the NXT Tag Team Championships. They're not going to lose yet, especially to the Culling. I think the Culling are going to break up. I think we're going to see Sean Spears get called up to the main roster probably very, very soon if there is a draft.
You think they would call up Spears?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I think he does good for them down in NXT as a developer, and because that's what he does. I mean, he's got his own wrestling company there. What do you call it?
I think we kind of saw our first, glimpse of that with the whole pretending to be Randy Orton thing. But when he tried to RKO John Cena, but maybe not. I assume that he's going to get pulled up again. Maybe the draft, but I just don't see the Culling winning this match. I think Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs take this match.
Yeah.
Then we have the Women's North American Championship match: Sol Ruka versus Kalani Jordan. I think Sol Ruka retains.
I do too. I'm pretty high on Ruka. I think she still needs a fair shot being champion. I like Kalani as well. I think she'd be a good champion going if she did win. But I still got Ruka winning and retaining. I have a feeling Kalani will get a championship at some point. Just not right here. No shenanigans. It's a clean match.
Yeah, I think Sol Ruka retains here as well. Then we have the NXT Championship match: Obafemi versus Miles Bourne. Obafemi's winning this match. Obafemi's going to destroy this dude.
I'm gonna go the other way.
You think Miles Bourne's going to win this?
I think Miles. I think there's gonna be some shenanigans with Dark State. I think Miles beats Oba. Because I think Oba's gonna go. I think Oba's going up to the main roster.
You think he's ready to go up?
I don't think a lot of these guys are ready sometimes when they go up.
That's why they just become proverbial mid-carders for the first 3 years that they're brought up.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bump in pay. So, but
it's a very
I got Miles Bourne taking Obafemi and the NXT championship Dark State.
You think he takes it off Obafemi over the likes of like a Ricky Starks or Trick Williams or
Starks has still got his championship. He's already got his championship.
Or Javon Williams? Is it Williams?
Javon Williams. Yeah.
Or no, it's Javon Evans. Javon Evans. Yeah, no, I've got. Oh, the only reason I got him winning is because of the interference with Dark State. Do I think if it's a clean match he beats Oba? No. But even then, it's weird that
I just think Oba's getting to get that push up to the main roster. They just added 4 from LFG, and
I thought it was only the 2 winners.
Well, I don't know. They had on NXT. They had the two other girls. I thought they were from Evolve, and then the one new big dude there. I can't think of his name.
The guy that called out. Maybe he's the one that interferes because he called out Obafemi on NXT. So maybe he's the one that interferes in the match. But I don't know. I don't see Miles Bourne taking the title off Obafemi. I think the title's going to go to somebody.
I don't think anyone would see Miles Bourne taking it, but I think with an interference, he takes the title.
All right, we'll see. We'll see if you're good enough to keep that change. You're feeling yourself when you're a champion, huh? It's like I'm going to throw out the most wild theories I can.
I'm trying. I want to. I want to keep it real. I really do think that's going to happen. I'm not gonna, Oba. Listen, Oba's probably the better talent than the two of them. Not to put Miles down in any way, because he's good, but Oba's been a great champion. I think he would continue. My shenanigan scenario is what puts Miles over.
All right. Then we have NXT Women's Championship match: Stephanie Vakir versus Jordan Grace.
You want to go first on this one?
Go ahead. I'll defer to you.
All right. Here we got another title change. I got Jordan Grace winning on Stephanie Vakir because Stephanie's going up to that main roster, just like I think Oba. We've already seen her on Raw a couple times.
Yep.
So
I 100% agree.
And they already got her on the roster, I think, online. So
I 100% agree with you. And the fact that they sent Julia to SmackDown and kept Roxanne Perez on Raw tells me that Stephanie's coming up and Stephanie's going to be on Raw.
Yep. Yeah.
I 100% agree with you.
Yep. And that if there's a shenanigans in this one, it's going to be because of what's her name on Raw? What was her name? When you just mentioned?
Oh, Roxanne Perez.
Roxanne Perez. It's going to be because of her. But I don't think so. I think it's going to be clean. I'm not calling shenanigans in this match. I think it's going to be clean.
Yeah.
And
Booker
goes to the main roster.
And I think that's exactly what it's going to be. Is that Booker is going to drop the title to Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace is going to hold the title through SummerSlam and get her a good run on NXT. Then she'll probably drop the. I think at that time, that's when she's going to drop the title to what's her name? I can't think of her name. The one that Dom's always obsessed with.
Jordynne Grace?
No. Jordynne Grace is the one who's fighting her. Miss Parker.
I'm thinking of Parker.
I can't think of her first name right now. Jada Parker.
Jada Parker. Yeah.
I think Jada Parker will win the NXT Women's title off Jordynne Grace later on this summer into the fall.
Yeah. That would put her at the 6 month mark.
Yeah, and then she'll get her call up to the main roster as well.
Yep.
And then Jada Parker will be NXT Women's Champion at that point. But I could see whatever event they do.
I like that.
Like Battleground, whatever event they do around SummerSlam, I think that's when Jordynne Grace will drop it and she'll get called up too. But I think the Raw women's division was absolutely depleted. And now with Zoe Stark getting that knee injury and Julia getting sent to SmackDown, they need women on Raw. So I think I honestly think that if they're going to do a draft, you're going to see a lot of NXT pull-ups come. And I think Stephanie's definitely going to be one of them. Stephanie's definitely on her way up to the top, especially with like you said, the crowd reaction and fan response she got after her 2 matches on Raw with Io Sky, hanging with Io Sky. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
The writing is on the wall, as they say, for her to go.
Yeah, I think so too, 100%. Yeah. But my only caveat is, do they have Jordynne Grace win clean to make her look strong?
Yeah.
Or is there interference to keep Stephanie looking strong? But I guess maybe it doesn't matter because when they get to the main roster, what they did on NXT doesn't really matter.
No, I don't think that. Yeah, I think if the match is good and the pin is clean, both of them will look strong anyways, because she'll have had a good match and won or lost, valiantly, and Grace will have a good match and win. I think it'll be a win-win for both of them.
I don't know, but now all of a sudden I get this feeling in the pit of my stomach that maybe Stephanie retains, so they set up Stephanie Jordan 2 at some point. But I'm gonna follow my heart because Stephanie's my girl. I want to see her on Raw. I'm tired of watching Booker T fall asleep at the NXT announce desk. I wanna watch her on Raw. I want to see her on Raw. I want to see the Devil's Kiss every Monday night on Raw. Like I said, the Raw women's division is depleted. I know. Well, they did just get Kairi Sane back, but they lost Zoe Stark in the process, so they're kind of right back where they were. It's kind of like an even trade. But they fired Dakota Kai. They fired a lot of talent to make room for new signees and call-ups. So, all right. Let's get ready to see La Prima on Raw Monday nights, huh? La Primera.
Yep.
Then we have the TNA World Championship match, Joe Hendry versus Tricky Dick Williams.
Well, I like that we have Joe Hendry coming over here. I don't think he drops his title to Trick. I think it's going to be a good match. I just don't. I don't see, unless you think Joe is coming to the roster for WWE now, which I don't.
No, I think he's still got a couple months on his contract.
Yeah. So I got Henry winning on this. And
This
clean.
match I see Joe Henry retaining, and this match I see ending with interference because they're not gonna have you would make TNA look so inferior to WWE if you had your world champion lose his belt to a WWE guy on a WWE pay-per-view.
Absolutely.
It would just shit all over TNA.
Yeah.
You don't want
I mean, if you're doing that, you better be turning around and having someone over there win one of their belts.
right.
That better be the.
If they're going to do that, they should have had the Hardys win the NXT championship belt from Fraxium is what it should have been.
Man, would that have gotten a pop?
It absolutely would have. People would have went nuts.
Oh, what a pop that would have been.
So I 100% think Joe Henry's winning this match, but I 100% think that it's going to be interference. Either Dark State, maybe this is where we find out that Trick Williams is part of Dark State. Maybe this is where the next person in line for the TNA World Championship calls their shot. I don't know, but I don't see Trick Williams winning the title here. I just don't.
Yeah, I had forgotten, with going back to Oba, I had forgotten about the guy calling Oba out. So maybe I should flip flop and have him interfere with that match in Dark State in favor of this match like you do. Yeah, I think that's not wrong, because I do still think Trick is part of Dark State.
Yeah, I do too. And I think there's got to be some big mastermind behind all that. I
wouldn't call Trick a mastermind, but
no,
he's got to be in charge. Someone's got to be in charge of those three goons. So,
yeah. I don't know. I don't see, again, like I said, that would be a big slap in the face of TNA to have their world championship lose to a WWE developmental guy on a WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Regardless if he's a previous WWE champion or not. Like, you want to have Joe Henry win and go over and show that he belongs and can hang with the WWE talent. That makes more sense than, he goes over and he goes over, he looks good against the former WWE NXT championship, and then when he comes to NXT full time, he hits the ground running. But I don't see it. But that's it. That's our predictions for both Saturday Night Main Event and WWE NXT Battleground. Sticks, do you want to? We still have a lot of time, man. It's a fast show without Dom here. Taking us in every direction.
Taking us into the deep, dark,
pulling us into the weeds.
Sheet. Yeah.
What did you think of Raw and SmackDown this week?
From what I saw, SmackDown, I thought it was good. I didn't see the whole show.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you think of Roxanne Perez, and what do you think of this new thing that's going around that Dom's going for the hat trick with first Rhea, then Liv, and now Roxanne, because she showed up to join the Judgment Day with Nuggies.
The new side piece?
And some dry ass Nuggies at that. I thought Dom was a tendies man, but maybe Nuggies are the next best thing, and no ranch dipping sauce. We know he's a ranch fan. They looked dry.
Raw dogging him.
Yeah.
Raw dogging him.
Yes, he was.
He still seemed pretty happy about him, though.
I don't think Roxanne is that good looking, though. Personally, I don't
know. I don't think she's one that would get kicked out of the bed for eating crackers at any point in time. But
no, I just don't see the allure. I don't know.
I mean, she's cute. I mean, she's probably high number. Wouldn't call her a 10, but she's a high number.
She's a 10. All right. Back to, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to get your thoughts on her real quick back to Raw and SmackDown.
As far as Raw went, I thought Raw was a good show. I give it an A. The only thing I didn't like about Raw was that they waited so long to get the Logan Paul spot, and it was like as the credits are rolling and the show was about to go black on your screen. Now, why are you waiting so long to do that?
Yeah.
It didn't make much sense. It's not a Marvel movie, WWE, where you're going to watch for the after credit scene for Logan Paul to knock out Jey Uso.
I'm going to throw a wild thought out there. Let me see if it sticks on you.
Okay.
SmackDown needs to go back to 2 hours. SmackDown is unbearable to watch at 3 hours.
I agree. I do agree.
I will fully admit, I have taken to watching the highlights of SmackDown and just going back and watching the promos and storylines I'm involved in, because at 3 hours, SmackDown is just a bore. It is a snooze fest.
Yeah.
I think, not to say what they're doing isn't good, but like just that filling that 3 hours, if they condensed it into 2 and everything was just like bang, 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 or 2.5 like Raw's been, and then just bang, 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 I think it'll make a far superior show. But right now, SmackDown is just you get to that third hour of the SmackDown, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. What else is on?
Yeah. You know, I think back to when wrestling was the highlight of everyone's talk at school. And every weekend we'd get like even just an hour of WWF. And the matches that we'd get in there kept us enthralled for an hour. Here now we're looking at 3 hours and we're like, man, it's taking forever.
Yeah.
In some cases. Not every case. I mean, some cases, if you get a good match, you get a good match. But a lot of times you're like, man, why are we even watching this match? Or why is this taking so long? It shouldn't even be taking this long.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I agree. Drop back down to 2 hours and condense what you've been doing.
I think it would save the show.
Mm-hmm.
But on that note, I think that's where we're going to end it tonight. I think I hope you guys enjoy yourself. If you like all the pro wrestling content we give you on this channel, why don't you hit that like and subscribe button? If you need more pro wrestling in your life, check out one of the other videos on our show, on our channel here. That's going to come up as soon as we're done talking. Make sure to check out Sticks every Tuesday on his Doctor Who show over on his Stick Boys channel. You can find the link to that in the comment section below. Make sure to check out Dom and Sticks both tomorrow night over on Renovision for the Qualified. You can check Sticks and I out on Saturdays on Saturday Night Special. You can check me out through more on the channel and all my videos I put out through the week. And we will catch you right back here next week for all the pro wrestling content and reviews from your massive weekend of pro wrestling. You got TNA, you got AEW, you got NXT, you got WWE, Saturday Night Main Event. There's so much pro wrestling on this weekend. I hope you all have a great Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy your long weekend. Enjoy your plethora of pro wrestling. And we'll see you next week.
In the ring, the lights go down. Roaring crowd, they scream and shout. Chants echo, shaking the ground. Warriors clash, the game is found.